What is up, my green beans? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Now today we're going to be starting a new series. I gotta give credit to my friend Vicky who gave me this idea. We are going to be ranking every starting player in the league. So today's video, as you can see by the title, is about the point guards. We're going to do one video for each position, and we might even be ranking 6-man. I gotta think about it. So today, as I said, we are starting off with every starting point guard in the NBA. So let's jump right into this. Now, as you guys can see, I have my tier list here. S tier is basically the best point guards in the league. A tier, like elite point guards, not in the same tier as the best in the league. Then you have obviously B is like pretty good. C is like meh, not great. D is bad to below average, and then F is like the worst point guards in the league. And then you have here, these players are not starting. Anthony Black, he sometimes starts, but he's not really right now he is the starting point guard because of injuries, but Jalen Suggs is the starting point guard for the Magic normally, for example. Ben Simmons, actually I think Ben Simmons might be starting, yeah, sorry. Let me move Ben Simmons down here, and yeah, I don't think Trey Jones is starting, my bad. Yeah, yeah, that should be right. I think Ben Simmons is starting for the Nets. Okay, good. Podziemski isn't starting, Landry Shamet isn't starting, Cole Anthony isn't starting. All of these guys aren't starting. Some of them are starting just because of injuries, like Bub Carrington has started a couple times, but we're just basing this off who starts the majority of the year for each team. For example, you have Tyus Jones here, who got traded to the Suns. He starts more than, to tell you the truth, I forgot who this is, but he's in a Suns jersey, so yeah, same thing. Reed Shepherd does not start over Fred VanVleet normally, even though he probably has started a few times. Scottie Pippen Jr., he has started many times for the Grizzlies, but Ja Morant is the starting point guard. Anyways, let's start this off with Anthony Simons of the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, if I were to put him in a tier, it would most likely be high C, low B tier. Now, I'm only saying this because Anthony Simons is an extremely explosive player. You know, he's been on the Trailblazers for a few years now. He's still very young. He has a lot of room to build. But right now, he just isn't to that level of a lot of other B tier guys. So I think we're just going to put him up here in C tier. That's where he's going to go. But he is, just to make sure, he's top of C tier. Moving on, we have Cade Cunningham. Now he is having the best season of his career. The Detroit Pistons are about a 50% team right now. Not really Cade Cunningham's fault. He is an all-star this year, and because of that, this man is an A-tier player. Oh, actually, I don't know if I can put him in. Yeah, you know what? I'm putting him A-tier. I think he deserves it this year. He is just that good. I mean, we might shift a few things around, judging on a few other point guards later on, but he's going to go into A tier for now. I believe he deserves it. He's been such a good passer this year. He's been a great offensive scorer. He's been a great rebounder. He's an all-around good player. Moving on. Christopher Emmanuel Paul. He is 39 years old, going on 40, playing for the San Antonio Spurs this year. Obviously, he is still one of the best passers in the league, but he is just not that guy anymore. I mean, last year he played for the Warriors. The year before that, he played for the Suns. To tell you the truth, the Suns should have never traded this guy. He should have stayed on the Suns like for the rest of his career, because the Suns, ever since they traded Chris Paul and they got KD, they got Bradley Beal, they've gone straight downhill. So that's kind of besides the point. Chris Paul is still a good jump shooter. He is still a great passer, but he's older. He's going to go low C tier. I don't think he's bad enough to go into D tier. So I'm going to put him there in C tier. Moving on, we have Coby White. Now, last year, I was pushing for him to be the most improved player of the league. He did not get it. I believe Lauri Markkanen got it, but I think he deserved it more because it was a bigger jump. This year, he has stepped down a significant amount. I mean, he's still a good enough scorer. He's not as good as he was last year, and I don't think we need to talk about him too much. He's definitely going to C tier, probably above Chris Paul, just by a little bit, though. Moving on, we do have Damian Lillard from the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, he was traded there a year and a half ago now. It feels like it was yesterday that Dame was traded to the Bucks, but yep. Damian Lillard obviously is not as good as he was on the Blazers. He's much better this year than he was last year, but he's not nearly as good as he was on the Blazers. Still an elite shooter, still a great piece around Giannis, but I don't know about the fit. Due to that, I'm going to put him in the B tier. just because he still does average a lot of points. He just doesn't do the passing that well. He doesn't do the rebounding that well. He's really just a scorer, good shooter, good spacing for Giannis. Besides that, not too much. This is who I was putting to start for the Brooklyn Nets, but we can keep Ben Simmons in here for fun. D'Angelo Russell. Now, he was traded from the Los Angeles Lakers earlier this season to the Brooklyn Nets because they did not want him. They got Dorian Finney-Smith in exchange for D'Angelo Russell. And he hasn't been great. I mean, just not at all. He had a couple of good games on the Nets, I guess. I think he had a 20-point game, like his first game back. So this is a little bit weird. I don't really know where to put him because he's not. I haven't really been watching Nets basketball. I mean, who does? I watched him on the Lakers a few times. That's about it. He just isn't that guy, okay? I'm sorry. D'Angelo Russell is our first D-tier player just because he's been inefficient. He's kind of a spark plug if he's good. If he's hot, he can play well, but if he's not, he's just trash. So we're going to put him in D tier, not F, because he can be good sometimes. Moving on, Darius Garland, who made his first All-Star appearance this year, deservedly so. I do think he deserved it. He's been looking great. I mean, his passing has been elite. His scoring has been great too. He's been a great second option on the Cleveland Cavaliers next to Donovan Mitchell, obviously, who would be on this list if Darius Garland wasn't there because D-Mitch, even though he's like 6'1", plays shooting guard. So Darius Garland here, I mean, he's been great this season. One of his best seasons ever. Last year he did have a huge slump, but he's been cooking this year. Scoring like crazy, passing great, rebounding not too bad for a small guard. This man is definitely going into the B tier next to Damian Lillard. I think he deserves it for sure. Moving on, we have De'Aaron Fox, who got traded to the San Antonio Spurs. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, there's no other Sacramento Kings here except for, who is it? Some guy I put in here. Yeah, this guy. I don't know who this is, so I'm sorry. I'm not a Kings fan, but I'm going to keep De'Aaron Fox here. We're going to talk about him kind of as the Kings moving into the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox is having an okay season. We talked about him in our last video, talking about the trade where he went to the Spurs. Zach LaVine went to the Kings. It's a whole thing. But yeah, he's been averaging 25 points a game, 6 rebounds, or 6 assists and 5 rebounds, something like that. He isn't that efficient. He's shooting 32% from 3 and like 46% from the field. He's not that efficient. This year, he's going to go into C tier. Probably, yeah, I think he's going into C tier, man. I don't know. I kind of want him in B tier, but this is what I'm doing. He's going into C tier. He's going above Anthony Simons, obviously, but he's just too inefficient to go into B tier, in my opinion. Let's see how he does on the Spurs. I think he will be doing great on the Spurs. So moving on, Fred VanVleet, the starting point guard for the Houston Rockets, who are the 2 seed, which definitely should add to that. He's been good this year. Better than he was last year, but still not insanely good. He's a good shooter, not a bad passer for his position, I guess. So if I were to put him somewhere, it would also be in C tier. I think I'll probably put him above Coby White, below Anthony Simons, just because of the way he's been playing this year. I mean, last year I would have put Coby White above him, but not this year. So moving on, DeJounte Murray, who has been injured for the whole season, basically, is technically the starting point guard for the New Orleans Pelicans. I did not want to put, Grand Theft Alvarado as the starting point guard. He's not the starting point guard. So we are going to be ranking DeJounte Murray. He was obviously traded from the Hawks a year ago for Dyson Daniels, and he's been okay. I mean, he's played like 5 games. Can't really gauge it that much, but judging by what he did on the Hawks, where he was averaging clean 20 points per game, not too inefficient, okay rebounder. He's pretty big for a point guard. He's like 6'4", I think. Overall, I think he's going to do much better on the Pelicans next year. It's just the Pelicans are so riddled with injuries that they can't really do anything. Obviously, Zion Williamson's been out for almost the whole year. Brandon Ingram's been injured a lot. DeJounte Murray's been injured a lot. Just everybody's been injured. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, my bad. They've all been hurt. Because of that, I mean, he's still a good player, but obviously he is going into the C tier. I think he's still a bit better than Coby White this season. Just overall, Chris Paul, man, I feel bad for you being that low. Moving on, we have Immanuel Quickley. Now, I actually need to check this guy's stats because I don't think I've watched a single Toronto Raptors game this year. All right, looking at Immanuel Quickley's stats, as a starter, he's played 11 games this season, but he is really the starting point guard for the Raptors. I think he has been hurt, but he's averaged 15.5 points, almost 6 assists, and 2 rebounds in 11 games, so that's not bad. but he has been shooting pretty inefficiently. 40% for the field and 36% from 3 is just bad. He is a 92% free throw shooter though on low attempts, but still. Bad shooting from the field, bad shooting from 3. Because of that and, you know, his injury this year, I can't really put him too high, but I'm not going to put him too low either. I think he deserves to be a C-tier player. Just because of all his injuries and things, I might put him below Chris Paul this year. I don't know. He's good, but I don't know. I feel like he could go above Kobe White if he wasn't injured. We're going to put him below Chris Paul just because of the injuries for now. And we're going to be moving on. Isaiah Collier and Keyonte George are both on this list, mainly due to the fact that they both kind of switch. Keyonte George has played 38 games or something this year. Isaiah Collier has played 40, but sometimes they start as a shooting guard, sometimes they start as a point guard. So, first of all, let's look at Isaiah Collier's stats. He's been averaging 5.9 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds in 40 games as a starting point guard. His shooting is 39% for the field and 22% for 3. Obviously, he is a rookie, so I can't really base him that heavily, but just because this year he is also going into D tier with D'Angelo Russell because he's very inefficient and low scoring. But again, he's a rookie, so don't go crazy on him, you know. Moving on, we have Keyonte George. He's been averaging 16.2 points, 6 assists, and 3.6 rebounds. That's good. 38% of the field and 33% from 3 are just horrible shooting stats, though. I don't know. Keyonte George was great last year. He's stepped down a little bit due to his shooting percentages. Dang, I'm going to have to put him low C tier. Probably above Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah, around there, below Chris Paul. But our C tier is getting pretty full. Now we talk about Ja Morant. He hasn't played many games this season. He is probably the most explosive guard in the league. He's been great, just overall. The Memphis Grizzlies are the 3rd seed right now. He hasn't played that much, though. He is back. He's not averaging as much as he did last year. Well, he didn't play much last year, the year before. He's averaging an okay amount of points. He's doing pretty good. So, I mean, he's Ja Morant. Just because, I mean, he does have a lot of bad off-court stuff, but this year, we're going to put him high B tier above Damian Lillard. He isn't as good as Cade Cunningham this year, which is crazy for me to say. And I know, I have a really good friend who's a Pistons fan. I know he's watching this right now. I know. Cade Cunningham is that good. Okay, moving on. Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson is, at this point, he's underrated. A lot of people say Cat is better than him. I have said that myself. I still think Jalen Brunson might be a little bit better right now. Big Bodega is not to that level yet, but Jalen Brunson, as a starting point guard in the league, he's a great finisher for his size. Pause. He is a great shooter as well. He's been great the whole season. I can't put him anything lower than A tier. He is going to go above Cade Cunningham. He is better than Cade Cunningham right now, but Cade is good. I like Cade. Okay, moving on to Jalen Suggs, who I am considering to be the starting point guard for the Magic, even though he's been injured basically all year. He's been all right. He's a great defender. He's not too crazy. He is the pinnacle of a C-tier player. I mean, this year, I'll put him above DeJounte Murray because he carried when Franz and Paolo were injured. Even Mo got injured, and he stepped up, and he dropped a few 30-point games and kept the Magic afloat. He's staying at the top, at mid C-tier, for sure. Moving on, Jamal Murray. Now, I have Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook here this year because they do kind of interchange as well. I've seen Russ start instead of Jamal, or Russ start with Jamal as a point guard, or Jamal start as a point guard. So we're just going to start off with Jamal. He's been mid this season. He hasn't been great this season for the Nuggets. He's had a couple of good games, but he's not that guy anymore. He was great last year. Because of that, he's going into top of C tier. He's actually below De'Aaron Fox. Last year, I would have put him B tier for sure. Well, I would have put De'Aaron Fox in B tier too, but this year, he's not that guy anymore. Russell Westbrook, on the other hand, for the Nuggets, he's been so good. Looking at Russell Westbrook's stats, he's averaged 13 points, 6.5 assists, and 5 rebounds in 48 games. He's played 28 minutes a game, okay? 47% from the field, 33% from 3. Obviously, he's not a great shooter, but that's really efficient for Russell Westbrook. He's been better than Jamal Murray this year. I'm sorry, he has been. Russell Westbrook, you deserve this, man. He's going... Oh, I can't put him above De'Aaron Fox, but he's going above Jamal Murray. He's going top of C tier for sure. All right, we're past the half point here. As you can see, we only have one row left of players, and we're starting off with James Harden now. This year, James Harden has been better than he has been for the last 3 years. He's been great for the Clippers, mainly because Kawhi's been injured. He's been getting a lot of touches. He passed Ray Allen in threes this year for second all-time, which is mind-blowing. Obviously, Steph Curry is miles above everybody else, but James Harden's that guy. He was insane on the Rockets, but we're not talking about the Rockets. This year, James Harden has been an elite shooter. He's been a great passer. He's been pretty efficient as well. He has 21.6 points, 8.5 assists, and almost 6 rebounds in 46 games. 39% of the field, 34% from 3 is not that efficient, but he's playing really good. I'm going to put him, you heard me right, in B tier. He's going to go a little bit below Darius Garland just because of this season, but he might deserve to go above Darius Garland sometimes. I don't know. He's been good this season. Moving on, we have Jordan Poole of the Washington Wizards. Now, this year he's way better than he was. This is probably his best season ever. This year, Jordan Poole has been averaging 20 points a game, almost 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. 31 minutes a game, 41% from the field, and 39% from 3. 39% from 3 isn't horrible. Obviously, to be a 40% shooter from 3, you have to be elite. But he hasn't been too bad. This is his best season yet. And because of that, he's been a good shooter for the Wizards. Obviously, the Wizards are the worst team in the league, but I'm going to put him in C tier. He's going to go bottom of C tier, I'd say, though. He's been better than Chris Paul. He's been better than Kobe White. Better than DeJounte Murray. I think that's where he deserves to go. Below Jalen Suggs. Above DeJounte Murray. Injuries are obviously a thing. So DeJounte Murray has not been better than him. So that's a pretty interesting, I don't know. Jordan Poole is a little bit an iffy player for me. Moving on, we have Jrue Holiday, the starting point guard for the Boston Celtics. You could put Derek White here, but he's kind of more of a shooting guard. Jrue Holiday is the best defending guard in the league. Well, point guard at least. He is a good passer, a good rebounder for his size. He's aggressive. Jrue Holiday is definitely a top of C tier type player. He's been great for the Celtics. I'd put him, above Russ, below De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox is kind of just the elite C tier player. It's like a golden trash bag, except he hasn't been trash. He's been pretty good, just not as efficient as you'd want him to be. I don't know. I might have to move him up to B. I don't think he's as good as these guys right now, though. I think he's just a little bit worse. I think I got him right. I don't know. Then we have LaMelo Ball. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa, whoa. Obviously, his brother, LiAngelo Ball, has a huge hit. If you're an NBA fan, you know the song. It's called Tweaker. That's a huge hit. But yeah, LaMelo Ball himself has been insane this season. He is one of the best point guards in the league. All right, LaMelo Ball. He's averaged 28 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds in 31 games. Obviously, he has been a little bit injured. He's been shooting 41% of the field, 33% from 3, so not that efficient, but he's attempted 23 field goals a game. I don't know. I really like LaMelo Ball this year. He is definitely a B-tier player. He's been, in the games he's played, he's been so good. I'm going to put him above Darius Garland and above Damian Lillard. You know what? Boom. He's better than John Morant right now. He is the pinnacle of B-tier. He's been that good. Actually, I didn't even think about this. Damian Lillard is not better than Darius Garland, I'd say right now. Okay, no, we'll keep him where he was. He is a little bit better, actually. I don't want to enrage some Milwaukee Bucks fans here. Now, looking at these players. Okay, no, I have this right. Moving on to Lonzo Ball. I might swerve in the corner. Whoa, another Ball brother. He has been mid this season. I'm just not even going to talk about him that much. He's more of a D-tier player. He's been averaging, oh my goodness, 7 points, 3.5 assists, and 3 rebounds a game. Yikes. He's 36% for the field, 34% for 3. Yeah, bud, I'm sorry. He's a D-tier player, probably below D'Angelo. Yikes. Even I love Lonzo Ball too. He's very likable, but he's just not that guy. We're going to talk about this guy last, actually. Yeah, for sure. Moving on, we do have Mike Conley from the Minnesota Timberwolves. He's been a good shooter his whole career. He's actually, I think, top 15 in three-pointers all time, something like that. He leads the Grizzlies in scoring all time. He's a great shooter. He's a good passer for his size. He's been okay for the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves aren't great this year, though. I do think Mike Conley is just another C-tier player. I know I'm defaulting to the C-tier a lot, but, I mean, can you really put these guys in D-tier? I guess I could move a couple of these guys down, but D-tier is harsh, you know? Mike Conley, I'd put him above Keontae, above Chris Paul, above Kobe White. I think he's a little bit worse than DeJounte Murray, but injuries are a thing. Yeah, we'll keep him there for now. Moving on, we do have what I consider this year to be the best point guard in the league, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 2024-2025 is averaging 32.5 points, 6 assists, and 5.2 rebounds. Not only that, he's shooting 53% from the field. Not great from 35%, but 53% from the field. He's insane. He's one of the best mid-range scorers in the league. But you know what? He takes too many free throws. He takes 8 free throws a game. Oh, goodness. Yeah, most of his points, not most of his points, a lot of his points come from free throws. But, I mean, you can't argue it. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an S-tier point guard. Clap it up. Clap it up for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He deserves it this year. Last year, he still would have been S-tier, but he wasn't as good as a couple of other guys here. He is S-tier. He's obviously the best point guard in the league, miles and away. He is that guy. Okay, he's that good. And moving on, we have my favorite point guard, obviously, in the league, Sir Wardell Stephen Curry. And me, as a Warriors fan, I know what he's been playing like all season. This year, he has been averaging 22 points, 6 assists, and 4.5 rebounds. He is a starter in the All-Star game this year, 43% from the field, 39% from 3. By no means is he having a bad season. He's just not scoring nearly as much as he should be. Because of that, I'm sorry, Steph. He's still one of the best point guards in the league, but Stephen Curry is an A-tier player, and I think he's worse than Cade right now. God, that hurts so bad for me to say. But yeah, he's just... I don't know if I can say he's worse than Cade. Let's check Cade's averages. Cade Cunningham has averaged 25 points, almost 10 assists, and 6 rebounds on 45% of the field, 35% from 3. Okay, yeah, no, I'm sorry, Steph. You're just a little bit worse than Cade. But also, Stephen Curry's been guarded so closely this year. It's very tough to say. Unfortunately, I think he's going to have to stay there. As a Warriors fan, I'm dying inside right now. Moving on to Trae Young. Trae Young has been great this season. This is one of his best seasons. This season, he's been averaging 23 points, 11.5 assists, and 3 rebounds. Is he leading the league in assists, or is it Jokic? I don't know, actually. 40% from the field, 34% from 3 is not horrible, I guess. Trae Young is leading the league in assists this season with 11.5. That's actually a crazy amount of assists. He had a game this season with like 28 assists, I think, or 27, something like that. 11.5 assists per game, leading the league. Jokic is obviously right below him. Then Cade. Wow, Cade is 3rd in assists this year. That's insane. But yeah, I think Trae Young is going to go up there with the greats. This year, he's definitely a B-tier player. He's been better than Ja Morant just this year. Obviously, Ja Morant's been injured a lot. So he's going into B-tier right below LaMelo Ball. Tyrese Halliburton has not been great this year. This has been one of his worst years. This year, Tyrese is averaging 18 points a game, 8.5 assists, and 3.5 rebounds. He's shooting 45% from the field, 36% from 3. So a little bit inefficient, but that's not bad. I mean, almost 9 assists is very good. Low scoring, though. That's what matters here, because he's not been that good of a scorer. He's a great passer, though. He's definitely going B tier. Can't put him any lower. He's probably bottom of B tier. I think he's worse than James Harden this year, which is crazy to say, but yeah, B tier. Moving on, we have Tyrese Maxey. Now, Tyrese Maxey has been great this year. No Joel Embiid. Obviously, his team isn't good, but he himself has been the shining star, besides Jared McCain, who's injured, obviously, but he's been the shining star for the Philadelphia 76ers this year for sure. He's been averaging, oh my goodness, 28 points a game, 6 assists, 3.5 rebounds, 44% of the field, 34% from 3. Not super efficient, but 28 points a game, oh my god. I'm not, my mouth is zipped. This man is a B tier. He's above Ja Morant. Wow. That's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of scoring. Okay. Moving on, we have Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is the most underrated player in the NBA. I don't care what you say. I'm putting my hands up. I love this player. I love Tyus Jones. He's so underrated. He's been averaging 11 points, 6 assists, and 2.4 rebounds. 29 minutes played. He's the 4th option, 5th maybe, on a Phoenix Suns team. 46% from the field as a guard. He's 6'1", 41% from 3. This man is elite. He's so underrated. I mean, I almost want to just do this and just put Tyus Jones up here. Like, that's just as good. That's how underrated he is. I mean, he's Tyus Jones. He's Tyus Jones. Okay, realistically, Tyus Jones is more of a B tier play. He's better than these guys. No, he's not. Okay, I'm sorry, he's not. I can't say that with a straight face. He's better than Anthony Simons. Okay, that's where I would put him. But because I like this guy so much, Tyus Jones. He's Tyus Jones. Okay, I'm sorry. Benjamin Simmons. I'm just gonna let you watch a couple of these of Benjamin Simmons highlights. Let's just check these out and then come back to me.
Players like a Cam Johnson. That's why you're seeing a lot of the results you are early.
Johnson, can he get a shot off? Barely. Too strong. Wilson trying to track it down and does. Cutter, Simmons, layup is blocked. Fans react. Martin to the rim, draws the foul. And Philadelphia with a chance to take its largest lead of the night. Wilson with a great save and find for Simmons. Didn't go strong. In fact, he just missed it. No block.
Yeah, so what did you think? Do you think this guy is worth anything above an F tier? Yeah, I didn't think so. That's enough of that. Now, talking about the most... Oh my god, this is the biggest topic in the NBA. Luka Doncic, who is now... My god, this is crazy to say. He is a Los Angeles Laker. Luka Doncic is a Los Angeles Laker, and I'm sorry, he's been great. Last year, he should have won the MVP. He was snubbed. Okay, I'm sorry. I know Jokic is insane. He deserves it this year. Jokic deserves it this year, not Shea. But, I mean, Luka Doncic was averaging a 35-point triple-double last year. He took them to the finals. He carried the Mavs on his back. But this year, he's been injured a lot. Regardless, he is an S tier point guard. He rounds out our list at the top of S tier. Well, at the below Shea right now, just because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the best point guard in the league. If Luka wasn't injured, he'd be the best point guard in the league. I'm sorry, he's not. Shea is not as good as him, but that is going to round out our list. Here is our final list. I mean, Tyus Jones is up there. So here's our final list. You got Tyus Jones as Tyus Jones, Shea leading the charge at S, Jalen Brunson charging A tier, leading A tier. Then you have LaMelo Ball. Surprisingly, I think he's the sixth best point guard in the league, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I think this list is pretty accurate. If you guys think anything about this list is wrong, do me a favor and tell me about it. But yeah, this is going to do it for this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment. Tell me if you think I should have changed anything about this list. Do me a favor, subscribe to my channel. If you do, then that makes me want to post more. It definitely helps me out a lot. It's free. You literally just need an email and a password. It's like 2 seconds, 2 clicks. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in our next ranking. See ya.